Hello, and welcome to the Millennial Nutritionist podcast. I'm Isla Garcia, master's degree of nutrition science and registered dietitian, and I'm going to make weight loss realistic, sustainable, and uncomplicated for your busy lifestyle. On this podcast, me and my team of registered dietitians will decipher the latest nutrition research, dissect bad diets, and discuss social media trends for you so you can feel confident knowing what to eat to achieve your health goals. Research suggests that most weight loss programs aren't successful, but my experience has taught me that this is not because the participants aren't committed. It's because those diets are designed by non-nutrition professionals and center around severe restrictions. We are here to provide the facts about the science of weight loss so you can have the success you want and continue living your best life. Hi, Isla here. Sorry I look so grubby. I just finished editing this YouTube video and it is Friday evening and it's raining and I'm just sitting in this rocker being very pregnant and don't feel like putting on any makeup, but I still wanted to record this video. I'll look a lot nicer in the video that we ended up recording on yesterday, and I use a mic, so everything's all around better. But anyway, I just wanted to intro what we were talking about today. So today I'm interviewing our new dietitian, Maggie Prosser. Maggie has been with me, I guess, for 2 years. I forget about the timeline that everything's happened because she's been with me for so long in like kind of different phases. And Maggie is going to help me out during maternity leave, potentially after as well, and take on clients so we don't have to have this big gap that I keep saying that we're going to have. But Maggie has been with us for a while. Like I said, she started as a kind of like a marketing associate a couple years ago, helping me make a lot of the PDFs that clients receive in our one-to-one program. So she's very well versed in what is taught in our program. And then she also would help with making Instagram posts. So honestly, most of the Instagram posts you see are posts that she's made a while back. Then she moved into completing her dietetic internship with the Millennial Nutritionist, which means that she used her time to shadow me take on clients, or shadow me counseling clients for like 3 months, and then would also make them meal plans. So if anybody received a meal plan in the last like 3 months from us, it's probably because of Maggie's work. And then also made a lot of blog posts. So you can scroll through our previous blogs to kind of see what she used to write about. And then now she's transitioned on to becoming a full-on registered dietitian. So she graduated this past May from Texas Christian University, TCU, with her master's degree in nutrition and her bachelor's degree, and then also completed that year of dietetic internship to where now she is a registered dietitian. So fully prepared and honestly probably like one of the most qualified coaches that I've ever had, just with the amount of knowledge that she has about how we do everything at the Millennial Nutritionist. Maggie is a little bit different than me in our specialties or like coaching styles, just because she's also a personal trainer, which will be helpful for people who maybe need a little bit more education in that area. She does do personal training on the side. It won't be anything that's like pushed on you or like forced for you to do with her. But if you really feel like you have any questions that she could answer during the sessions and then feel like you need additional support from a personal trainer, she could help you with that on her own. She also will be specializing in Gen Z nutrition and losing weight while on a budget, which are things that I don't technically specialize in. As a Gen Z person herself, she'll be able to help you probably more than I can. But I'm excited to get into the interview and introduce Maggie. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Maggie. We have a lot to dive into, so I just wanted to go ahead and start us off with a nice broad question of why did you even want to become a dietitian? So go ahead and start us off with that question.
Yeah, definitely. So I initially started at TCU as a pre-med major on that track, and I was a chemistry major, so I thought I wanted to be in the healthcare field, and nutrition was actually like my fun class, and I just ended up really, really enjoying it, and I wanted to know more. I really didn't know what a dietitian was until quite a ways into my nutrition major. And that was one of the tracks I could go on. I learned about their scope of practice, and I thought it was a good fit of how I could fit into the healthcare field. So I kind of just went for it.
Awesome. Yeah. And you ended up at like such a great school. I was like such in awe of the TCU program because I know a lot of people end up doing the reverse. I don't know if you know about this, where like because not all schools have the like accredited path.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if you don't know it, I think it happened to one of our old coaches, Catherine. You can go to a school that has a nutrition degree, but then it's mostly just for like research and then have to like transfer in.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So I had my nutrition or my dietetic internship just all in the same program, which was fantastic. So I got my 1,200 hours at TCU.
yeah. And so then why did you decide to stick with the nutrition degree? Did you just like the classes or why that as opposed to
I did.
chemistry?
I loved the way TCU did the combined program. So I actually applied to that sophomore year and then started my master's classes from there and then continued through with my master's with TCU.
Did you feel like you had an interest in nutrition before, or did you become more interested in it like through
I
school?
think it just all happened when I got to college.
Mhm.
I thought that it was cool, like how important nutrition was to healthcare. And I don't think I realized that before. Like I definitely didn't grow up and was like, oh, I'm gonna be a dietitian. Just kind of fell in my lap and it worked out.
Yeah, I feel that's a lot of people because it is such a, like an interesting um subject because I was kind of the
Yeah.
same. And Lacey actually told me this, previous coach of ours too, because we both were in school the whole time together. She's like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this degree, but it's just like such a useful degree to have depending on like whatever you do with life, because like you always need to know how to nourish yourself.
Yes, definitely. I think no matter what I end up doing in life, I'll always value that knowledge just because like everybody eats.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly. But for us, since you're gonna be a coach for us, and I've already started with a client, what do you feel like makes you a good dietitian or counselor for the Millennial Nutritionist company?
yeah, definitely. Well, being with you for so long now, I mean, I started with you when I was a junior in college, I think. So being able to see the behind the scenes of why we do the program the way we do it has been very helpful. I know going to write blog posts or make any content for Instagram previously, I always had to come back to the why of why am I making this? Why does a client need to know this? What solution am I bringing to the table for these clients? And what is the like specific problem that's blocking them from losing weight? So that being, are they not eating enough protein? Is it prep time? Do they feel like cooking is just something difficult? They're lacking the cooking skills. Is it a motivational thing? So I think finding those personal things for each blog post or Instagram post was is kind of how I look at how I can counsel my clients is okay, what's the specific problem here? Because everyone is so different and everyone's lifestyle is so different.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're saying you really try to individualize it for people as opposed to just like having this like blanket statement of like this is how you lose weight. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah, for sure. And then specifically for other dietitians that are working with weight loss, like what do you feel like sets you apart from them?
Again, kind of back to that, like what is the one problem that's holding clients back, especially like with repeat clients. If I have clients that come back after the 3 months and they want more, and maybe it's an accountability thing. My counseling is going to be a bit different for I remember one time we had a pilot. They're traveling all the time. That's completely different than somebody that's at a desk job or a busy mom. Their solutions look completely different, no matter which way you go. That I have to tweak my approach and I can't just have this sticker I slap on everyone that's this is what's going to work and stick to this. You really have to work with the person and their lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, I like how you bring that up because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that's why they're not successful with other weight loss efforts because I don't feel like a lot of people offer like an educated one-on-one approach that actually treats people differently. So I like that you recognize
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
For somebody trying to lose weight right now, what would be your two biggest tips for them?
Yeah, so my number one is going to be getting enough protein. This is harder than people realize, I think, especially for my vegan or vegetarian clients. Getting enough for their weight loss is a bit a bit more than people realize, I think. Protein is going to keep you fuller for longer, and protein is also has a higher thermic effect to break down in your body. So it just means you're burning more calories than you would with simple carbs or fats because your body's working harder to break it down. Um, that's going to keep you fuller. And then moving your body is my number two. I'm also a personal trainer on the side and an instructor for a strength training class. So, as much as you can move your body, it's so, so helpful. It's something that's so important your entire life for not just losing weight, but maintaining your health. Um, it can vastly increase the amount of calories you burn per day, even just getting like 10,000 steps.
Yeah, yeah. So it sounds like for you, protein and movement would be like your first steps for people. Is that right?
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I feel like that's what I see most of the time, people coming in with not doing it enough and realizing that they like need to do it together. I feel like some people think they just like, if they're just eating protein, they should be able to lose weight. Or
Yeah.
if they're just moving, people tend to not like not have all of it together.
Mhm.
Um, well, one of the specialties that you're gonna have, which we've never really had before, is Gen Z, which of course makes me so old because I feel like I'm so hip. I'm like more on the younger end of the millennials, but I'm glad to have you on because I still do get a lot of people who are just coming out of college, which makes sense. I love it. It's why I originally started this because when I was a millennial, well, I am a millennial, but whenever I was
Mhm.
starting, that's the population I like to work with is like post grad because I think it's so impactful to just go ahead and start those habits before like it gets harder and harder and then you start a family. But we're going to dive a little bit into the Gen Z part. So, can you talk first to lay the groundwork like who even is Gen Z?
Yeah, so I am Gen Z.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's gonna be people born between, like, the late 1990s and early 2000s. A lot of them like, the sources I read specified 1996 to 2012-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So, these people are gonna be about 12 to 27 right now. So that kind of covers a large span of different lifestyles.
Yeah, 12, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm 30, so I'm like there at the end, but then I forget that like into the 40s is also millennial. So yeah, it's crazy how big that the age difference is. Any specific characteristics that you feel like would differentiate this group of people?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is that they were largely shaped by growing up in the era of iPhone and social media. The Great Recession was something that kept coming up
Mhm,
with characteristics of how their beliefs were shaped, and largely COVID-19, the
mhm,
pandemic, big impact on their childhood. They're more likely to live in metropolitan areas and very digitally connected. They're getting their news from social media, information, and entertainment, even.
mhm.
Something they all have in common is the generation has a larger push for mental health advocacy, sustainability, and racial equity.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. That is something I noticed about the older, what is it? Would it be Gen X or whoever is above me? When I get those clients, they seem, I guess that was more of like the Jenny Craig era because my era kind of like skipped that,
Yes.
where they seem a little bit more jaded and a little bit more like diet culture like ingrained of like, oh, I can eat this. Where I feel like millennials are a little bit like in the middle, but when I get Gen Z, it does seem like y'all are better at like knowing what you should be doing as far as like the fad stuff isn't the right way, but still not like really knowing what the right way is what I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. I agree.
Do you love our realistic approach on nutrition but want to dive a little bit deeper? Let me tell you about the Millennial Living Membership Program. This was designed to help you stay motivated and inspired no matter what health journey you're on. We develop monthly nutrition and fitness challenges with prizes you can win if you stick with it to help motivate you through every month. To inspire you, we upload weekly recipes with downloadable food lists, monthly food demos, and we can even have a registered dietitian answer your questions on nutrition and weight loss. Our members form a community with other like-minded people to help support each other on their health journey. If you are seeking a way to stay motivated throughout your health journey with our method in mind, try signing up for the Millennial Living Membership Program for the first 2 weeks free by signing up on our website at themillennialnutritionist.com. When it comes down to nutritional issues, what do you think nutritional issues what are the nutritional issues you feel like the Gen Z population faces compared to like say millennials or Gen X?
Yeah. So I came up with three here. One being grocery shopping on a budget because groceries are 30% more expensive than they were 4 years ago, even in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So being a little bit more cautious on what they're spending their money on at the grocery store, eating in season. Um, but I do think there's kind of like the nuance that people believe that eating healthy means that it has to be expensive, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
not true.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely be on a budget and still get your fruits and vegetables and good source of protein. And then another one, just over information. I think I even see this being on social media. There is an abundance of nutrition information out there, and there's a lot of misinformation. So weeding through that is a problem of its own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's nutritionists all over the place on TikTok, and that doesn't mean they're a credentialed healthcare professional. So kind of seeking out those registered dietitians, doctors, to find good, reliable information.
Mm-hmm.
I've even seen misinformation on like LinkedIn, which is somewhere you wouldn't think you're gonna see like misinformation, but it's everywhere and it's definitely hard to sift through. And then lastly, this kind of goes along with the fad diets, but like the quick fix, I think there's one of every generation, and we're in the age of Ozempic. So, I mean, that's the first question I get from anyone when they hear I'm a registered dietitian. If you don't know, Ozempic is the weight loss drug that has become so popular. I think it has a time and place, but I don't think it should be the first resort for weight loss. I think it should be a last resort after trying natural ways, eating a healthy diet, getting enough water, getting enough sleep, eating your protein, moving your body, stress control. So who knows what Ozempic does long term, but I think for your overall health, not just weight loss, that balanced diet and other lifestyle changes are going to be more important to this generation.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That is something that like my generation definitely didn't have to face, like the way they think about weight loss. Like I feel like I don't know if Gen Z is the same, but I always would just get asked about like supplements, and
Yep.
like keto diet. I feel like was a big one that
Mhm.
shaped millennials
And the
and thinking.
carnivore diet is
Yeah.
coming up. I keep
Yeah.
getting questions about that.
Yeah, but we never had to deal with medications and it doesn't seem like it's
Yeah.
going away. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's only getting bigger. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe the next generation there'll be another fad of some
Mm.
sort where that'll be their weight loss thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really interesting. I didn't think about. Um, when it comes to like life phases that Gen Z is in, to kind of think about like where you would come in, what are they like currently going through?
Okay, so since they're like 12 to 27, they're
Uh-huh.
in like a lot of different areas. So that's from high school, middle school, even, I guess, to high school, college, post grad, even, and then into the mid 20s, a little bit into the late 20s.
Hmm.
So this is going to range from like puberty to going out and college and could be like marriage and kids. So there's a lot of transitions there, big transitions and big life changes that can impact weight loss and
Hmm.
even just time management, and your habits and preferences. So kind of getting a rein on those changes in your life is kind of what I specialize in.
Yeah, yeah. And I like how you said earlier about the budgeting because I forgot that, yeah, groceries are like way, I mean, when I was, I think in college, eggs were like 60 cents at Aldi and now they're like 250. And so I didn't think about how that like millennials will be a little different because we're a little bit more advanced in our career, I guess, at this point to have more funds. Where,
Mhm.
yeah, Gen Z probably is going through it a lot more with like the expensive groceries and stuff and inflation, and then having to deal with that on top of like just starting out a career. Because we won't take people that are less than 18. So if we're really just thinking like 18 to that 27 range, I
Mhm.
feel like that could be like a really big challenge for that group.
Yeah.
Can you speak to maybe some like weight loss tips for people going through these phases specifically?
Yeah, so since there's so much change in this population right now, and several different times that they're gonna have changes in their life, I think building sustainable habits, wherever you're starting, and working them into your schedule like you would an appointment, even like putting on your calendar, you're going to go to the gym this time, or you're going to go on a walk, or this is when I'm making dinner. It's going to take me 30 minutes to make dinner. Just really using um, habit building to be your weight management tool. So whether that's getting your 10,000 steps a day, drinking your water, getting half a plate of fruits and veggies, those little things all add up so much, and that's what makes weight loss work and
Hmm.
work long term, is those little steps, and the consistency of it all is building up those habits. And if you can do that over a long span of time, I think you can control your weight a lot easier.
Awesome. Okay, so just making those changes. What else?
I think Gen Z has to stop listening to TikTok. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I mean, people come up and be like, "Well, did you see this diet? Like, I heard it works." It was like the last one I saw was like oats and lime juice, and it was like supposed to be a juice cleanse. I was like, That's not doing anything for you."
Yeah.
So, staying off of TikTok and getting back to the basics. This is eating your protein, moving your body, staying in a calorie deficit. It sounds so much simpler than the marketing world makes it out to be, but it doesn't have to be complicated. I think the biggest thing is just that consistency, and it's not a quick process, and it's really not supposed to be. You don't want to lose weight too quick. It wouldn't be in a healthy way. So staying consistent to those small changes is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think that's good. And that's where I think like you come in or a dietitian comes in because I see a lot where it's almost like we have so much information maybe compared to like the older generation. So like
Yeah.
I get a lot of people who will be like, I just like I go into the fridge and I just like have all these thoughts in my head of like, well, I shouldn't eat banana because of this, and I shouldn't eat carbs because of this, and I shouldn't eat
Yeah.
like fat because of this. So then I just end up say screw it and eat
Yeah.
like pasta Alfredo or something. But
Yeah.
having like somebody there to be like, these are the true things that maybe you've heard that we really need to narrow in on. And then these are the things that like absolutely don't apply,
Yeah.
can be good. And it sounds like you're like kind of boiling it down to what you think is most important here. Is that right?
Yes, definitely.
Um, how do you feel like you can like specifically help the Gen Z population?
I think making health a priority and an investment is something that they can build on into those habits.
Hmm.
I think it should be at the forefront of like anything you're doing with your life. Like it should be almost as important as your job. It's
Hmm.
it's your body, and that's what you're living with for the rest of your life. So not putting it off until you don't feel good or you're overweight. Um, Keeping those habits at the forefront of your routines. Remembering that this doesn't need to be a quick fix once something goes wrong, that it's really investing your time over the long span of your life. Um, and sometimes that takes accountability. So that's where I come in. That's where we do a very counseling style program. So it's time set aside for you to talk about you and your struggles and get correct information. I also do personal training and classes, like I said. So that's another way I've kind of integrated my passions into helping others. But yeah, but Gen Z can benefit from all of that.
Yeah. And again, I think just like being a clear voice, because hopefully, I mean, I feel like I've seen a trend in my younger clients that they respect educated voices a little bit more than the older generation. Like, I feel like the older generations are like the MLM generations that will sometimes believe whatever they see on Facebook.
Yep.
But it seems like well, more of the younger millennials and Gen Z appreciate like saying like, okay, maybe I know what a dietitian is. I'm ready to work with you.
Yeah.
And having us like guide them through that. And I've never had a trainer, a personal trainer, be a coach for us before. So could you maybe talk about what that could look like if somebody, would be separate from our program, but if they're like, yeah, I'm like really confused, I'm starting from scratch for exercise, like how could they work with you?
Yeah, definitely. So in person, I'm based in Dallas, Texas. I train from Svelte Performance, but I also do virtual clients. Currently, I actually have my sister training with me. So it would be like a Zoom or a FaceTime, just like this. and I build programs out from traditional strength training. I'm NASM certified, so that's where my education came in there. I have people that just buy like packages of, here's your workouts, go do them on your own time. Some people just have questions, and I'm open to answering questions in my messages, in my DMs. I'm Get Moving with Maggie on Instagram, but I can also link my email because I mean, nobody teaches you this stuff. There's no reason people would have known this.
Mm.
So it's fun getting to answer those questions and integrating this into my nutrition coaching.
Yeah, and I think that's really great that as you being a dietitian too, because sometimes I get worried to even like refer out to anybody because I'm like, I don't want them to like screw up what I've already taught you about nutrition
Yeah.
or be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you should really only eat like 10 carbs a day or something like that to like
Yeah.
see results after we work together.
Yeah.
So we can trust that you will not do that, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's also great because so many of our clients work remote or used to remote or they travel and they need a virtual person. I don't know how common that
Mm.
is for the trainer space. And so I think that's another good benefit of like having you as a resource if somebody
Yeah,
really wanted that.
definitely.
Well, cool. We already kind of talked about where they could follow you, but like next steps could be that if you really want to work with Maggie, we still have a couple spots open. I'm hoping to get this episode up. I think I will
Yes.
tomorrow. 2 spots open for her discount, and then we'll go up to normal price, and she'll be helping to take clients while I'm gone. So
Yes.
if you really want this, she'll still work through the normal 6-step method, just with a little bit of a Maggie spin on things. So a very similar thing to everything I've ever talked about. So if you're interested in becoming a client, make sure to check out Maggie's profile that's now uploaded on our website. But anything else, Maggie?
I don't think so. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the Millennial Nutritionist podcast. For daily weight loss tips and nutrition information, you can find us on Instagram at the.millennial.nutritionist and on TikTok at millennial.nutritionist. If you find this information helpful, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend who needs encouragement on their health journey. See you in the next episode.